How's it going, everyone? Lovely to have you here. I'm KingBlackToof, and allow me to take this opportunity while you're in my part of the internet, the wrong neighborhood, mother, to talk to you about the new game mode coming to Gwent, also referenced as arena mode. Okay, so two things before we start is obviously spoilers. This background is like a reference to the arena mode. If you don't want to hear things about it, then you should probably leave now. So thank you for watching. Secondly is I'm taking the information from the data mined PTR stuff that someone did about a week ago. So there's no new information. I'm not leaking stuff to you. If you think I've got any important information that maybe you wouldn't already know, I don't know anything about this new game mode. You may think I do, but I don't. So that's not the case, okay? I'm not going to be leaking some new information for you. But hopefully, if you don't know about it, this was on Reddit, so maybe you can find it there as well. So what do we know so far about the new arena mode coming to Gwent? So first of all, there will be an entrance fee, and you can purchase tickets from the store with multiple currencies, okay? So this is from data mining, so it was from a text file. So this very well could be US dollars, Great British pounds, yen, and other currencies. But I think it's obvious that it's going to be ore as well. You could probably purchase an entrance ticket with ore. Now, I can't guarantee that, but I think it's idiotic to not allow that. Much like Hearthstone Arena, ore or real money is probably the two ways you're going to get in to the arena. I would reckon anyway. So after you've purchased your ticket, you'll be able to play the Gwent Arena. So what exactly are you going to be doing in there? So it seems like you'll be building your deck randomly. You'll get a selection of cards and you'll choose one and that'll go into your deck. You get another selection of cards and you'll choose one and that'll go into your deck. So building your deck semi-randomly as you go, which is very similar to Hearthstone Arena, the way that does it, as well as that Russian Gwent Arena website, which emulated that sort of feel of building your deck semi-randomly as you went along. So I imagine you'll get an option of 3 cards, much like when you open a keg. But I'd like to see that expanded, and I'll go over that later on. So there was also a description, like a tooltip for new players, which was data mined. And I can't find the image, so I'll just put the words above. Which cards should I pick? In this mode, you'll build a deck from all available cards. There are no faction restrictions. For this reason, it is often best to choose cards that have high value on their own and are not dependent on synergy. Okay, so the first 2 main points is you get all available cards accessed as possible choices for you, and there are no faction restrictions. This opens up a lot of interplay and definitely a lot of different decks. I mean, you're not going to really be stuck into one deck and everything's going to look the same. A lot of things are going to look really different as you're playing. You've got 500 cards, and I assume you've got a deck of about 25-ish. So, a lot of different multitudes of types of decks you'll get. So hopefully quite interesting every time you play. The second thing, though, does worry me slightly. For this reason, it's often best to choose cards with high value on their own and are not dependent on synergy. While dependent is the key word there, I mean, you can put cards in your deck which are dependent, but because you get access to all cards, there are cards, some of them, that are just not ever going to be used, like Blue Stripes Scout or Blue Stripes Commando. Things that, like, are faction specific. They only boost loyal Temerians, for example. So you're not going to take them because you're probably not going to get the rest of the cards in the choices. Okay, so I mean, that just worries me a little bit. Like, it kind of seems like that's the embodiment of what people say when they say vomiting points onto the board, which I think has been an overused term and has sort of twisted a bit recently. But you get the idea. I mean, high value cards on their own, not dependent on synergy. You're just placing cards down. The Beastmaster is the perfect example of this. Just value. You put them down, done. But I'm okay with it. It just depends, and it all comes down to how they sort of give you the options, and we'll go over that shortly because there's still a bit more actually. Are there any deck restrictions? Apart from the total number of cards in your deck, which is not stated how many that is, so we'll assume it's normal, there are no restrictions. Use as many golds and silvers as you like. So this is also another worrying bit. I mean, it's a bit strange that, I mean, I like the idea that you can use as many golds and silvers as you like, but does that mean there's going to be a disparity between players when they're building their deck randomly? Like, is one person going to get 12 golds offered and one person only going to get 3? I mean, it seems like there's an issue there. And really, this whole section that I've just gone across here really comes down to what CD Projekt Red does to empower the player, okay, while then building their deck. And I think this is where this arena mode will either sink or will, soar. Yeah, cool alliteration. I love it. Because mainly this arena mode is really going to be the thing that's going to carry Gwent on for a very long time. Okay, I reckon anyway. You need this second mode to be successful. So the best thing that CD Projekt Red can do is empower the player while they're building their deck to build the deck that they want to build. Okay, so first of all, picking one card from a selection of cards. If you've got 3, that's fair enough. But if you've got 5, you can build the deck that you want. If you've got a selection of 5 cards and you choose one. Okay. High value on their own, less dependent on synergy. It doesn't sound too good. The more options you've got, the more you can actually go for some synergy, and are they going to empower you by giving you some other ways to actually interact with the particular selection process? I mean, in Hearthstone, for example, it's just you choose this card, done. If they would empower you by giving you a blacklisting option, so you can blacklist one card from the list, as well as choose one card, and you can blacklist a card and choose one card, so that if, say, a Blue Stripes Commando comes up, you can blacklist that, so you'll never get that again, and then you choose a card. And so the more sort of stuff they do to empower you in that sort of way would actually be very helpful, and it allows you to build the deck that you want to build. I mean, it also depends on how they present this particular choices to you. And there's a lot of nuances to this, which is really where it's going to come down to. Like, do they present you the leader card at the beginning or at the end? And there's pros and cons to both. If you pick them at the beginning, you can kind of build your deck to empower your leader card a little bit, make sure it works. If you get a selection of leader cards at the end, you can build your deck around itself and then use a leader card to plop on top, but then you're really not going to be able to ensure things like Hensel. I'd just like to do a little juxtaposition to Hearthstone Arena. So Hearthstone Arena, when you're building your deck, you get a choice of the 3, and it's generally not as simple as just choosing the best card, because you've got to consider things like the mana curve in Hearthstone. So you need a nice selection of mana, and you need to ramp it up quite nicely so you can get a lot of plays to do in every turn. So although you don't want too many 1s and you don't want too many 10s, you have to kind of curve it nicely. You might get an option later on in the deck building process in Hearthstone. You might get an amazing 6 mana drop. That's a really good card, but you've already got a lot of 6 strength in it, so you can't actually take it, because then you'll end up spiking and not have a good curve. So you have to take something that's less effective, but it does sit on the mana curve. And Gwent really doesn't have that, so it kind of might push on the whole idea that everyone's just choosing the strongest card, because they're all equal in terms of play value. You play 1 card per turn, so in terms of mana, if Gwent had it, they're all equal. So you are just probably going to pick the strongest card, and as everyone's doing that, is that really, very interesting. And that's not to say that's what's going to happen. There is something later on in the video that might indicate not everything is as simple as it seems, which is a nice little interesting way to go. So one of the main things at the minute that I'm really liking about the idea behind this arena mode is that not only is because there's no faction restrictions, that creativity is starting to flow really a lot. And it's not like you can net deck this. This is something which, it's a lot harder to net deck because it's random, which is cool. But also, the cards which are generally really good now don't necessarily mean they're good in the arena mode. So Hensel, I think, is a good example of this. While he's really good in ranked, because you can build your deck in such a way that you get a lot of value from him, in arena mode he's probably not going to be that good. Radovid, while maybe not as good, is consistent, as well as Foltest. They are consistent leader cards which do a good effect, which could be quite good. Or you can take the riskier option and go for Hensel. Again, depending on whether you get him at the start or the end, really kind of sees how that works. So now you've built your deck and you're ready to play. The way this game mode works is that you'll be playing opponents until you've won 9 games or lost 3. Okay, you will probably be able to leave and resume. You don't have to fight them all sequentially. But if you win 9 games, you get the maximum reward. And if you lose 3, you get the reward for the tier that you're on. Okay, so As for rewards, we don't know what they are yet, but most likely, you know, they're the average rewards. Maybe some special ones in there for high positions. We saw some images, so you can have a look at those. Now on the right there, interestingly enough, there are some wax seals. You got a blank one which looks like it's got a heart in it, and one which looks like it's got a soul type icon in it. Now we have actually seen a new game board for this particular mode as well, which actually looks a lot better. It's got some damage to it. It's got some effects to it. It's got, you know, some objects on it, so it's a nice advancement on the normal game board, and this is something we really want for when we're doing holiday events. So this is going in the right direction. But on the left there, where the strength of the row normally is, there is a wax seal. So this would kind of mean that possibly the wax seal might be something slightly different now. There might be a hint of a extra mechanic. Maybe there's something to do with souls. We are talking about Gwent Dim. This whole sort of game mode is themed around Gwent Dim and souls and stuff. So maybe that would also indicate there's a new mechanic in this sort of game mode regarding souls and hearts or something. I don't know. Interesting idea. I don't want to go too hype into it because I'm probably wrong. We will see. But just consider these things, that it might not be as face value as you think it might be. So I think that generally covers what we know of the new game mode at the minute. So generally speaking, I think this is going to be a very good game mode to come in, a very necessary one. It's going to have to keep Gwent afloat and interesting. So hopefully it's worth playing and it's fun to play. Now, I'm just going to recap over what I've said, and it really all comes down to the choices of how CD Projekt Red empower the player when they're building their deck. What tools do they give us to really kind of hone our deck and sort of... We don't want to build like top tier decks. We want to build decks which are fun with the whole no faction restrictions and stuff. You know, we don't want to keep getting the same cards which are rubbish. So just the way they present the cards to us and the tools they give us to sort of succeed in building a deck we enjoy playing is going to be very important. And try not to make them just, you know, vomiting points, and until you meet that one player that got lucky and was able to build a synergistic deck. We'll see. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've got any feedback, love to hear it. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again very soon.